Hey guys, it's coreross and welcome to 6 News. So today we have the patch notes for a new test server, which brings us one step closer to the mid-season balancing patch, which is what we got kind of previewed on the Hot Breach podcast special edition. Now, some of them have appeared and some of them have not. So Glaz is being buffed, Twitch is getting nerfed, and Warden is getting a pretty significant buff. However, the changes to Kaid don't seem to be in this, and potentially that means they're not coming. We already know that the Legion nerf is probably going to be something that comes later, so maybe with the launch of the next season, because apparently they need a lot more work to be done, but we are getting these ones. So of course this test server has the Jackal changes, which I actually found out today you cannot get on local. So if you play the game local, so I was playing the test server local between two machines to test stuff, and actually found out if you play local you have the old version of Jackal. You actually have to play a custom game on the dedicated servers to actually see the changes, which I was very surprised by, but found that out. So that's handy. If you jumped on and you're like, Jackal's the same as usual, then that's why. So Glaz is getting a rate of fire increase. Now, I don't see this fixing him. He's so low in the the graphs for the balancing that I don't see this being enough to push him up even a little bit. But you guys can let me know what you think, because I could be totally wrong here, and this might actually be something that'll be very useful to him, and maybe Glaz players will like this. Let me know what you think if you're a Glaz main out there. Now, Twitch is getting a nerf. Now, when I went over this in the last video, I thought this is pretty timid from what I expected. And a lot of people were like, oh, this is actually a really big nerf. And I just mean basically I thought it was going to be far worse, like something else major, rate of fire down, or just, making that gun far, far worse. So it's good that it's still potentially as good as it was, but just 5 rounds less, I think. So I don't see this being a huge nerf, but I quite like it because it's a good gun, high rate of fire and all that. So going down to 25 rounds, I feel okay with that, but I'm very curious about your opinion of that, because this could be something you really don't like. But anyway, let's move on to this, because this is really interesting. So Warden, this is one we didn't get previewed in the Hot Breach podcast, and it's kind of significant. So Warden is going to be at 2 speed. Now, of course, 3 armor operators, remember that Siege, are getting rare. And as we can see, getting even rarer as they're changing Warden to a 2 armor operator. So quite a significant change. And it really shows, I think, how much just that 3 armor seems to really slow down a character, in not just obviously the gameplay wise, but really pulls them down sometimes in their stats. And yeah, don't know if this is really going to help him as well. It's another one where it's like I could see a minor change here. This is kind of like, tweaking things tiny amounts, and maybe it'll slightly push up his pick rate, but will it really make a difference overall when it comes to the numbers? Because like we got obviously Rook and Doc doing relatively well, and probably just because they have an ACOG. Whereas Warden, of course, doesn't have an ACOG, but going down to 2 speed, I don't see that really being enough. That ACOG is a prized possession between a lot of players out there. They will just not play an operator unless they can get that ACOG. So yeah, curious to see how that'll play out. Curious again as well to get your opinion on Warden's change here. And they kind of just say we want to give him more opportunities to use his ability and increase his potential as a defender. And like the thing is, when we're talking Rainbow Six Siege and we're talking the distances involved in moving around, like what are you saving? Are you even saving half a second getting from one point to another where you could potentially use his ability? And maybe that will be the actual kind of changing point where he is just able to get there in time to look through that smoke, get the kill. Maybe the diffuser's going down, and that's when Warden just shines. But yeah, is it going to be enough? Don't know. Then of course we have a bunch of bug fixes. So yeah, this should be another good little patch for the test server. We'll see how it goes. Like I say, apparently you need to be in a non-local game to check out the Jackal, and probably the rest of the changes as well. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will catch you next time.